guys, it's Lisa here, and today I want to talk about the root causes of self-sabotage and how we can kind of get back on our own team a little bit. So I work with clients to help them achieve goals, right? And they come to me and we talk a lot in the beginning about why do you feel like you haven't been able to resolve this on your own? Because so many of the people that come to me, they have at least most of the right information. Sometimes, we need to do a little bit of tweaking and adjusting, but they have most of what they need, but they can't figure out why they can't consistently put that into action, which is really the issue for most of us. And that's what I want to talk about today. So one of the big issues that clients come to me with is either weekend overindulgence or evening snacking. These are really two common themes that I see, and I know they were definitely big deals in my life as well for a very long time. So here is a really powerful exercise that I do with them, and I just want to tell you that I do have a link to a PDF in the comments below where you can use my template where I have some examples and that kind of thing, or you can simply take out a piece of paper or use the notes app in your phone, whatever you want to do, use your computer. This is a pretty simple exercise, so you can totally do this on your own. We need to understand that our subconscious brain has literally no interest in our long-term goals. Our subconscious brain is wired for survival. It wants calorie-dense foods, it wants the goodie, it wants to feel calm and soothed, it wants to feel good now. And then we have this other competing part of our brain, our more evolved brain, that is able to do long-term goal setting and planning and strategizing, right? We have to understand both sides of these if we want to kind of come around on the same side of the table and get on our own team consistently and avoid this feeling of constantly being disappointed, frustrated, feeling like we can't trust ourselves, which is the worst, right? That is not a good feeling. So this is worth figuring out. This is a very simple exercise. So here's how it works. Let's say evening snacking is the thing that trips you up pretty often. So I want you to take that piece of paper and write evening snacking across the top, and then I want you to divide the paper into two sides, literally draw a line down the middle, and then on the left side I want you to write pros and on the right side cons. In the pros column, I want you to brainstorm, just let your brain roll with all of the reasons that evening snacking seems like a really good idea. These are going to be primarily emotion words over here because we are often seeking a feeling. We are often seeking comfort, a sense of home, a sense of security, a sense of safety, a sense of routine and ritual, that kind of thing. So I want you to just come up with as many words as come to mind, no judging, no curating your answers as you write down this list. When you're finished, I want you to go over that list, and I think you'll be really interested to find yourself thinking, oh my gosh, these are all really great feelings. Why would I ever want to stop nighttime snacking? Like, I love all of those feelings, that feeling when friends come over and we're all sitting around snacking and it feels generous to share food with people, or the smell of popcorn popping or cookies baking. I love all of that. Why would I ever want to stop? Okay, this is really good feelings that we're generating with that evening snacking. Okay, so now we go over to the con side, and I want you to list all of the reasons that evening snacking, is not a good idea. So this is where, again, our more evolved brain is likely to kick in because it's kind of the rational, logical reasons why it doesn't make sense. This doesn't align with your weight loss goals. You're eating foods that cause inflammation or could even trigger an autoimmune flare. They make you feel bloated. You don't, maybe your eczema or your acne breaks out. You don't feel in control of your choices. You feel compelled to overeat these foods even though you had a good dinner. And that doesn't feel good. We want to feel like we have authority over our choices, right? So if we look at that column in isolation, it's really interesting because we think, oh my goodness, why would I ever engage in evening snacking when this is the fallout? That makes literally no sense. So I want you to kind of toggle back and forth and look at both sides of this list. And then you realize what you're up against, what we're all up against. We're literally dealing with two very different parts of ourselves that are competing for attention and for taking the reins, right? So the next work is to look at that pros list and say, okay, these are the feelings that I am trying to generate or needs that I'm trying to meet within myself. How can I get a little bit creative about how to seek those feelings without these foods that aren't working for me, or, maybe with healthier foods, right? As kind of a bridge. So thinking creatively. So for example, in terms of like one-to-one food swaps, maybe we're thinking, okay, I'm going to bake some paleo treats and those will make my house smell good. And that will be kind of that close approximation to some of the baked goods that we tend to have in the evenings. Or maybe I'm going to bake some apples with a little bit of cinnamon, maybe some, toasted walnuts or something on top that will make the house smell good. And that will be kind of a goodie. Or maybe some fresh berries with some coconut cream on top, that kind of thing. This strategy was very useful to me in the beginning when I shifted over to a paleo diet. And it was kind of interesting because I'm not even sure when, but this just kind of fell away and I didn't seem to need it anymore after a while, but that wasn't a conscious decision. It was very helpful for me in the beginning to kind of upgrade my choices. The other things we can think about are, okay, if we are seeking that connection and that sense of hominess, could we maybe play a board game together? Could we go for a walk together? Could we do something completely out of the norm? What we don't want to do is try to go sit in the same chairs and watch the same TV shows and just, white knuckle it without any snacks. That's that's like holding your breath. That only lasts for so long. That's using willpower, and you're just going to feel deprived and vaguely angry. So that's not a good solution either. So, but understand that these are very legitimate, worthwhile needs that you need to try to meet in a healthier way in order for you to, again, get back in alignment with yourself, start moving in the direction of these health goals that you have in a way that doesn't make you feel restricted and deprived and sad and, like, how can I keep doing this forever? This doesn't feel fun. I feel left out. This doesn't, have that sense of security and hominess that is really important to me. So the long-term viability of your plan requires that you dig into this. So, and it's interesting because you can use this same exercise in areas where you're not doing a thing. So say you keep planning to go to the gym or you keep planning to do meal prep and you find yourself finding literally any other thing to do instead of those things. Do this pros cons list because your brain has a lot of cons that you're probably not even aware of about going to the gym. Maybe it seems like a waste of time. Maybe it makes you feel guilty because you're not, spending time with your kids, or, maybe it makes you feel like you're in comparison to other people when you're there, whatever. And understanding that, okay, maybe some of those really are legitimate. So could we seek a middle ground by maybe a shorter gym session or fewer days per week or doing some body weight work at home? We just tend to forget that there are a range of options between total perfection, all in on a plan, and doing nothing, which doesn't feel good either. There's often a whole lot in the middle there. But understanding, again, if we're trying to constantly fight against that undercurrent of emotion, it's just a matter of time before, we fall off again. And then we just feel out of integrity and like, why would we ever want to start again? And this is the place that so many people who come to me are in. They just feel like, I don't know why I would ever start something. I can't follow through. I can't trust myself. I get all fired up and I start something and I never stick to it. That's because they haven't been considering, all the parts of themselves that are worthy of care and attention. So I encourage you to try out this exercise. Don't just watch this video and think, oh, that's a great idea. Literally take 5 minutes and do this for yourself. I cannot tell you how illuminating it's been for my clients and for myself. And it's something that I still use because there are still areas that I'm feeling resistance to, whether it's with business or, home projects. And so I kind of do this quick pros and cons list, and I'm like, oh, I don't want to clean up that area of my house because I think, well, everybody's just going to mess it up again. And then I'm feeling kind of beleaguered and a little bit put upon, right? So kind of just peeling back the layers and figuring out what's under the surface. We cannot solve problems in our life until we identify what they are. And this will help you do that. So I hope it's helpful. I would love to hear a little bit about what you learned. If you're willing to share in the comments, I would be so grateful. Take care. Thanks so much.